So, Kiera Coles, what could possibly the pregnant postal worker? What could have possibly happened to her? Like, subscribe, ID in the Discovery Channel. Yes, ID in the Discovery Channel. The links are provided below. Get that Discovery Go app as well as that ID Go app. You might want to get those two things combined and make them into one. So, yes, pregnant postal worker Kiera Coles. Shouts out to Cece. What could possibly happen to her? And they need to get her age up right. There should be an accuracy, because in some news stories it in fact says 26 years old despite her being 27 years old. My question is, before she was seen on, or around the time, the marking of when she was seen on surveillance, what could have occurred around that time period? I'm saying, what will be the point for her to leave her prenatal vitamins behind in her car as well as her cell phone? Why would a pregnant individual, 27 years old, postal worker, go missing, but then too, before she does, leave her prenatal vitamins in her car as well as her cell phone? That stood out to me the most. It always helps to pay attention, watch, look, and listen to the things that, the awareness aspect. Could she have left those things behind for a reason? Let me scroll down, because I was trying to see more in depth. She's been missing since October 2nd of 2018. And she was last seen on surveillance video leaving her apartment at 81st Street and Vernon Avenue on Chicago's South Side. When she left, she also had on her uniform, her postal worker uniform. The vehicle, see, because I'm in question of, the first thing I start to think was, well, maybe, when a person gets pregnant, oftentimes a male wouldn't want to pay child support. That's the first thing that came to my mind. Like, who don't know that, the cause and effect, right? If I'm young and I get pregnant, well, 27 is not real young. It is young, but not real young. It's not like a teen. But a male came to mind. A fatherly figure. Would a fatherly figure, would he or would he not want to pay child support? Yeah, I don't know why that is. When women are pregnant and they go missing or something, what usually comes to my mind is either she might not have wanted to be there, she might not possibly knew if she could raise and take care of a child, or a male figure, a fatherly figure. Because see, child support these day and times, you're held liable, as in some states would in fact, I don't know how Chicago is, but I know certain states would in fact jail you. Yes, they will in fact jail you if you don't pay child support. And so that's how individuals in fact go missing and be later found dead, if even found at all. Because some males don't want to pay child support when it comes to situations like these. It does, her whole everything doesn't make sense. I was trying to see. Let me see. Of course, loved ones handed out flyers. That's still going on today. They're trying not to hold or point fingers. And yet, what I want you, the viewer, to tell me. See, it helps to go with your first thought. When something pops up in your mind, they say first thoughts can pinpoint you to various things as in the right possible thing that which could have happened or occurred. Leave me a comment on this. What do you think in the back of your mind, or even in the front of your mind, could have happened to this young 27-year-old being pregnant? Somewhere along the way, she will be giving birth. To the baby. Let me pause again. I just don't know why. Like, I can tell that there's a male involved in this. If it's not a male fatherly figure, then maybe it's a male lover or something. I can't really see a female being involved in a situation like this. Like, this isn't no Thelma and Louise type of situation. I'm not trying to laugh or anything like that. No, it's not a joking situation. But when you think, well, like when they said, well, maybe a friend would have known that was the last individual she supposedly talked to was a friend or whatnot, you do have females that oftentimes, not oftentimes, but from time to time disappear. If you look at it, oftentimes, depending on the situation, get up and go together and to never be seen again. It's to say, well, if she did leave with a female friend, where did they go? That just doesn't. Where are you going on foot? And not only that, whose car is you entering in? It's so many ways to target with even this story to try to see, well, she walked away on foot, which means she would have been seen, I'm thinking, by some driver, some passerbyers or something in their car if she was to meet up with someone. This whole thing just doesn't make sense. That's why I don't have much to say, because not only because of her age, but too, how that phone in those prenatals, I can repeat that time and time again. The phone is, it's almost like how you leave something behind and you want it there to tell a story to whoever's going to find it. Okay, well, I'm going to leave my phone and my prenatal vitamins. As if you want those. I don't know, would a suicide point in with that? Somebody go off, walk off to a whole different location or something like that, commit suicide, possibly not knowing if they will be able to take care of the baby or anything like that. That just don't seem right. Because, see, a woman of her age, young women at this age, 27, is going to want their phone. The average person is obsessed with their phone, but more than anything at that age. Now, the prenatal vitamins, I can see those being left behind. Some people don't consider that more of importance, but a phone. Would a grown man would have talked her out of her taking her phone? I want you, the viewer, to answer me back on this, because I'm like at a loss for words on the situation. Would a grown man, whether a lover, ex-lover, new lover, father of the child that's on the way, would they have told her to just, look, baby, leave your phone in your car? It's like leaving something to be found on purpose. So back in October 2018, police suspected foul play in the disappearance of her. And I'm guessing, the more that I think about it, the phone and the vitamins, those type of things, I'm telling you. Because, see, look, if nobody, that's why it looks suspect in itself, because, see, if she wouldn't have left the phone and the vitamins, there wouldn't been nothing to go off of, but those two things are once again like a clue. That's like the 20th or 40th time I just repeated that. It ties into something. You're leaving a clue behind. I'm more than likely have to make another video on this, because something just doesn't stand right at all. So she was known to be funny and she loved her family. I don't like situation, especially to be so young, because, see, this is almost like, it reminds me of like almost the Jolie Musa case during the time, well, not during the time, but when you got situations and you don't know like what is the in between. Who all was she talking to before she came up missing? Who all was she surrounding herself with? Who was all the girlfriends? Because it's so odd and so weird when situations happen, then everybody else want to just move out the way. knowing they was a part of the situation as well, and then not tell things. So I think that's all to be said for now. The baby is gonna tie in as a clue because you don't know how was her mindset over the baby, if she really, that should be one of the questions. Because see, some people can act around family, some people can lie around family. You never know how a young adult, this could be one of those situations, how she really felt about having a baby. Didn't I say that already? How she could have felt about having a baby. Sometimes people slip up and get pregnant and really don't want kids, and then they feel that they're stuck with the child. Some people run away, though family is saying that more than likely she wouldn't have wanted to run away, but nobody can really say. There's all type of people that put on an act to their family members about how they is presumed to be happy or whatever, right? You just don't know. As in, they need to dig much more deeper to see what was her mental state with that. What was the individual's mental state? How did she interact with all her friends? As in the ties, the closest ties, all that type of stuff will point exactly just where she was going and headed with the situation. Any lover relationships? Did she party? If she partied, how often did she party? Did she stay out late at night? Who could she have met while she was out late at night? Because to be 27 is to say, well, everybody has personal problems. Not everybody knows how to deal with those sort of things, right? You have people that want to run away from their problems and not tell family. And so they go off to a different location, change their whole identity to never be found again, right? It's just something odd. And then another thing, you got younger females these days prostituting more than they used to back in the day. Not saying her, because once again she is pregnant, but you do have females that would in fact prostitute themselves out by jumping state to state, as in leaving their family or their whereabouts unknown and prostituting and all that other stuff. That's in fact a real deal. The things that people do, and that's not saying that she could possibly have done one of those things, but you never know. There's females from celebrities all the way down where they leave and they go way to Dubai and all the other stuff. Like, leave the country. You don't never know what these missing persons type of cases, who is getting up, leaving out the four walls of their house and never to return again. And it might not even been by the help of anybody with that. Or maybe it could be. Maybe she could have left on her own, is what I'm trying to say. I don't know. If I was 27 years old, where would I want to go? How would my household have been? Because see, yeah, the first thing I already said that you would want to point in to see, was there any type of stress, mental illness, or any other situations that she could have had going on, chaotic or anything. Any issues with other friends or relationship issues with anybody that she would have wanted to escape and get away from, even if it was immediate family. All that you want to look into, as in to be completely aware, which is why the case is still going and open with that. The thing about Chicago, though, it seemed like it's just getting. That's why I can't really get on. That's why I really can't get into, oh, this race is against my race and this color factor and that color factor. Because if you go to the south side of Chicago, as you see black on black crime on top of each other. Black kids getting killed by black grown men and women. That's a no-go. And then you got police officers that got to come clean up the mess or search and rescue whatever come finding the look and all that. I can't get in really into that whole let's hate this race and let's hate that race, because South Side of Chicago is really raw when it comes to killing your own kind, the black kind. That's a no-go. I'm sure prostitution rings could be all through silently with that. Because see, look, to be on a surveillance tape and walk past your car, it's to say you must have been meeting up somewhere, down the block or something, around the corner. It's just something that's not right. I'm able to see, because if she really wanted to, that I'm sorry for fumbling over words, but I'm looking through family photos and all the rest to try to see. To not drive your own car is to say you don't want. That's what I'm saying. To not drive your own cars to say you might not want your identity to be discovered elsewhere than away from home. It's either she has something to do with this or Emil. I keep going back to that. You leave your car at home. That way, when you're out somewhere and it's a missing person's flyer being ran or missing person's story, your own being aired, you go undetected in a sense. Because remember, you left your car behind. So as they're searching for you, your car is nowhere out on the road. It's at home. Or if it was some lover or something like that you couldn't get rid of or something, maybe he talked you into, let's go somewhere, let's leave to another state or something like that. This story can point in like 3 different directions. It just can. So I think that's all for now. I think that's all to be said for now. Try to dig a little bit deeper. Chicago is just a mess. It's a complete mess with that. Kanye West would know. A lot of them would know the mess. So, yeah, I think that's all to be said for now. It's a lot of stuff going on. I've been trying to pause out for a little bit to take care of some other stuff, but my videos will continue to keep going with that. Leave me a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you feel, think, your opinion on all this. It's just so sad because see, some of these missing people, they go missing and then sometimes it'd be 30 years after when a case closed, if even that. That's not cool at all. It's completely not cool. Let me pull this over. So, we are in fact on investigation discovery. Logo stands on the left side. Dead of Night, live now. What is live now, you ask? Dead silent. Dead of Night, though, you can click right here to watch now. Unlocked episodes. To gain, yes, a preview as well as audio visual. With that, it's a click the play button. You can also click right here, add to watch later. On last night, I allow you, the viewer, to gain access is to in fact put your subscriber in, who, yes, provider, subscriber, one and the same, right, to gain access to an exclusive to view that sort of thing. That's why the lock and key is right there. Shows of all kinds. Unlocked series. Have you ever been stalked before? I have in my past. It's nothing nice. Recommended for you. Shouts out to Paula as well as Lieutenant Joe Kenda. Those are my Discovery family, so that you know. ID Go original series. Every time I see John Walsh's face, I always feel for him and little Adam, his son, that was murdered. That's the worst way to be murdered. It completely is. Leaving a child's, yes, head behind. Who does that? Crime Feed News, Crime Feed. CrimeFeed.com. Click right within here and you would in fact be directed to the outside, the Crime Feed. CrimeFeed.com. For all the latest and greatest in mayhem. That's in fact a true statement. Something I came up with, the wording. To receive a newsletter is a type of email address and click next and you would in fact receive that. I'm just thinking. I still, every time I get to thinking about young individuals, male or female, that go missing, it just makes you think further. You have people, they go missing and then, yeah, like John Walsh, his son, and then the skull be found. Like it was one individual that was out walking, leaving out the front of her house and saw right where the plants are, right in front of her apartment area, a skull. Like who does that? It does that sort of thing. And it trips you up because you don't be knowing what to say because there's so many unsolved missing cases and I'm hoping this isn't one of them situations, as in hopefully it's not where it's headed to. It makes you sad on the inside, is what I'm saying. The more younger, the more sad with that. So I think that's all to be said for now. I'm leaving off and I'm gone. Enjoy your day, by the way.